Are you ready for football season? Yes, you heard right. The NFL kicks off in less than 50 days, and WagerTalk and Gold Sheet have you covered with the new Gold Sheet NFL Summer Guide. The Gold Sheet NFL Summer Guide is over 80 pages of actionable NFL handicapping information to help you prep for this season from a betting perspective, and best of all, the guide is free. This includes lines for every NFL game, schedule with Ralph Michaels' exclusive power ratings, position-by-position breakdown with every NFL player that made a start last season, exclusive NFL health reports for each team, and much more. Just go to thegoldsheet.com and the guide is available on the front page with no sign up or information needed.
Welcome in, guys. Welcome back right here to WagerTalk TV for another episode of PuckTime. I am Andrew McInnis, joined by Carmine Bianco. We have one game to recap and one game to discuss, and let's do the recapping a little bit after, but I want to bring in my co-host, Carmine Bianco, and see how his night was last night. And also, guys, make sure you check out Stoppage Time. That show happened before this show. Great show. I always try and check it out if I can. Carm, how's the day going, man?
Day is going good. Busy day after this show. It is the end of my day. I'm calling it an early work day today, Andrew. Bryan Leonard couldn't be with us today. He's traveling back, obviously, back to Vegas. So let's give the guy some time to recover. He'll be back in his regular spot next week, and we look forward to him discussing what should be the matchup for the Stanley Cup Finals. I thought we were going to have one of the two participants decided last night, Andrew, because it looked like Tampa were on their way, but the New York Islanders had a different plan in place, and we're going 7 games. You know, the funny thing is I was on the under 5, so I 2-2. I wasn't happy about it, but I was going overtime. I couldn't lose it, Andrew. But I went to grab a drink, and I came back. I'm like, I got time. This it's not going to end quickly. And 90 seconds later, I see the Islanders celebrating on the ice. I'm like, I missed the goal complete. I missed the goal completely. So you watch the whole game, miss the OT goal. But yeah, we talked about the fact that you know, don't look at an 8-0 game and make it influence you as far as like totals or even sides. You know, I did say I like the Tampa in the game and the under, and it was looking like it was going to be a Tampa and under, but the hockey gods had a different plan in place in that game. But overall, it was a good day for me. Euros, very good day. I had Spain as a 5% play. They crushed their game against Slovakia, winning 5-0. So I was pretty happy about that. And we're into the knockout stages. So I'm looking forward to that as well, too.
Good stuff, Carm. I'm excited for the rest of the tournament. Should be very, very exciting. And yesterday I was happy to join Drew Martin and Mid-Major Matt on First Pitch. You guys can check that out and make sure you check them out every single day on First Pitch. I had baseball action yesterday. It was pretty much a split day for me. So we'll try and get back in action and get in the positive tonight. But guys, let's go over some promos real quick, because I do have one I want to mention. And Carm, it's not one that I want to take too lightly today. And you know me, I don't like to promo too much at the start of the shows, but tonight I'm going for 11 straight 5% MLB winners to start the season. I'm putting the streak on the line. It's been a little while since I've released one, made it 10 straight, and I kind of cooled down with plays that I was in love with. And tonight we have one we really, really like, going for my 11th straight 5% MLB winner. But instead of grabbing that play, guys, for $35, you can use the coupon code Andrew99, and you can get a week of all sports action for just $99. That's the best way to go. Get every single play heading into the weekend. I'm posting UFC tonight. We're going to have Euro Soccer, NBA, NHL, MLB. Don't just grab this one play, guys. Grab this package for 7 days using that coupon code Andrew99 to get all access for $99. Can't wait for tonight's game, guys. Really looking forward to it. Let's try and make it 11 straight 5% winners in the MLB. But as far as tonight's game goes, the odds plus 125 for the Canadiens and minus 145 for the Golden Knights. The puck line for the Golden Knights plus 185, the plus 1.5 for the Canadiens minus 225. So a big adjustment there on that aspect for those puck lines. Total sits at 5. And I'll start with this, Carm. You know, last game, Steve Merrill always talks about, don't try and catch a falling knife. Don't try and get in front of a streak. And I've been giving out unders on this Canadiens team all year long. But I just had some feeling that I was a little bit hesitant in the last time out just to see, maybe we'd see a push or an over late in the game. But we still see a low scoring game between these two teams. And I know that I'm usually the one that talks about this stuff, but does the fact that it's an elimination game change your mindset as far as the total goes?
It doesn't. And first of all, before I get into this, I want to say, because when I sort of went off on three different tangents in my opening, I wanted to mention that you were going for 11-0 in baseball. It's absolutely amazing to have 10 wins right off the hop from the beginning of the season, 5% winners, 10 of them, and you're going for 11. You just have to jump on the streak and just keep going. So if you guys are out there, take advantage of that coupon code. There's no self promotion here. I'm telling you guys to go out and get Andrews, because that's an absolutely fantastic run. Show him your support. This guy does a ton of work and a ton of research. What better way uh, to show him you're in his corner than to use that coupon code and get that 7-day package? But that said, getting back to this one, Andrew, we talked about the elimination games yesterday, and the fact that I liked the total and going under the total yesterday, despite it being an elimination game. I just thought the Islanders, what happened in that 8-0 game, there were circumstances that led to that game, the Islanders getting away from their game plan, and they played it pretty much to a T. Even though they fell behind 2-0 in this game, in the game yesterday, they still kept to that plan. They were playing very well defensively. They got a little bit of puck luck and a very good goal from I think it was Mayfield, and got it to OT and won it in OT. This is another game. Listen, the Canadiens are going to play the same game tonight that they've played in the first 5 games of this series. You know what you're going to get from them. We don't know what we're going to get from Montreal or their goalies, I think, at this point thus far. But the Habs are just doing a fantastic job of cutting off any traffic to Carey Price, limiting the shots from the outside, and Price is doing what he's got to do. He's stopping what is thrown at him. It's just they're playing textbook playoff hockey, and it's tough to find anything in those first 5 games that would say to you, "There's going to be goals in this game." I don't see them.
Right.
Now, with that said, the final score could be 6-4 tonight, but there's no indication that that's going to be the score tonight. The way these teams have been playing and the way Montreal has completely stifled this Vegas team from getting any offense going. With that said, it's tough to pick a side here. It's just is tough to pick a side because you're getting almost like coin flip games. And no, they're not coin flip games, but it just seems that way. And yet again, the Montreal Canadiens are an underdog. I just don't get it. You would think at some point, playing at home in game 6, up 3-2, you would make the game even minus 120 both ways. No, it's not. Vegas is a favorite here. I'm leaning to the under here, Andrew. I just don't see where the goals are coming from.
I can't argue with you there, Carm. And more specifically, I'm going to be looking at the first period under between these two teams. The feel out process, like you said, has been pretty much the entire game. But more importantly, we have seen pretty much a really slow, first 5 to 7 minutes between these two teams. Not much offensive zone time, lots of transition hockey. Both teams trying to get their, every player, their first shift out of the way. And then usually when we get to that 10-minute mark, we're starting to see a little bit more offense generated. But I'm a little bit more dialed in today on that first period under between these two teams. But diving into the teams in general, you talk about Carey Price. I mean, Carey Price in elimination games just has unbelievable statistics. Now he has 2 opportunities, either tonight or another opportunity in Las Vegas to close out this series. I think it's huge as well. A huge day in Quebec, holiday, of course, for them to close things out. They get an opportunity to do it at home. And I've mentioned all year about home ice advantage, and has that really meant anything without fans? And now the Canadiens have 3,500 fans, and I think it's huge for them because, although Vegas had 18,000, it doesn't matter if it's 18,000 or 1,000. The fact that you hear that set of fans cheering for you, I think it changes things a little bit. But I also don't think the fans have an impact on, how the players play. It's more necessarily just keeping that positivity throughout a full 60 minutes. But what I wanted to touch on was the Mark Stone back check. I was talking with you about it on the phone, Car. I'm not sure if you got a chance to check it out, but Montreal's in the power play. Mark Stone turns the puck over or gets the interception, takes the puck, moves up the ice, then loses the puck. Corey Perry goes down the ice, makes the pass to Cole Caulfield. He puts it away. And I'll tell you, I was just absolutely shocked to see the captain of the Las Vegas Golden Knights have a poor back check, get caught puck watching, have his stick not even on the ice, it's up in the air, and then pretty much watch the guy next to him score a goal, go back to the bench, smash his stick along the bench, and get to the bench and start throwing kind of a hissy fit. To me, that doesn't really show great leadership qualities. You see right now in the Montreal Canadiens, we're seeing a great mix of veterans and youth. And, a lot of people are saying for so long about teams like the Maple Leafs, well, they have so much time. They're young and they have so much time. Kotkaniemi is only 21 years old. Cole Caulfield's been in the league for 3 months? It has nothing to do with their age. I think it's been a great mesh between defensive hockey and offensive hockey. But most importantly, the vets, Corey Perry, Joel Edmondson, Eric Stahl getting back on the score sheet. I feel like that's been the biggest difference. And it's kind of what I've said all year long, to be honest with you, Carm. The fact that the Canadiens don't have any superstars. They just have 4 lines that are going to score. Now, I think that there's going to be a huge adjustment as far as the amount of shots on goal for the Vegas Golden Knights. I feel like last game, they were too particular. I'm not sure why they're doing it against Carey Price. I mean, I'm the one that always says there's a difference between shots and dangerous shots. But at the end of the day, it seems like they're not really being a dump and chase team. They're being a carry it in type of team. And it's not working for them. They have to retaliate with the dump and chase tactic, get the puck behind Carey Price and try and do some work from there. Because clearly, whenever they try and carry it in, they're just getting swallowed up.
Yeah, it's surprising. You would think they would be getting more pucks to the net, but last game is a prime example, Andrew. You look at it. They got a win in Game 4 in Montreal in a game that they trailed, tied it up late, win it in OT. You would think coming home for Game 5 that will propel them to some type of momentum to win Game 5. And they were not gifted, but they were given an early power play in that game. 2 minutes into the game, you would think, hey, perfect setup. We're home, first period, early power play goal. Let's get on top of this Montreal Canadiens team. And they didn't. Montreal stemmed the tide, which they've done. As a side note, great in the playoffs so far. I think the stat I saw last night or the previous night is something along the lines of Montreal has killed 40 penalties, or they've had 40 power plays against them, allowed 3 power play goals, but have scored 4 shorthanded goals in the playoffs. That's pretty good when you're killing penalties, that you actually have a plus number in that category. With that said, they killed that penalty. 6 shots on net from a Vegas team you thought would come out in Game 5 in the first period and try and take it to Canadiens, and they got 6 shots on goal in that period, and we're down 1-0 at the end of it. It was downhill from there. The Canadiens are running this game plan that they must have to a T. It's the next man up. They're doing it. You know what I mean? Whether we didn't believe it early in the playoffs, and of course I didn't. It's one of those things where I love those. I called them plumbers yesterday. I love those teams with plumbers. I'm an old guy. I love those 94, 95 the New Jersey Devil type teams that just went out there and they checked you into the ground. They found a way to win, and they won a cup because of it. So Canadiens do that? Why couldn't they? Who knows? Win tonight and you're in the Stanley Cup Finals, and it's a brand new series. So with that said, I like I said, I do like the under here, and I like your thoughts as far as the first period under as well.
All right, taking a look at a few props here. I just wanted to kind of go through a few of the shots on goal props. I think it's important for us to mention Alex Pietrangelo. I mean, Carm, we've seen 7, 6, 5 throughout the playoffs for this guy. And more specifically in this series, we are seeing a lot of action from the defensemen from this Vegas Golden Knights team, and we haven't really seen much production from the Montreal Canadiens defensemen, but I believe it's because they've been kind of stay at home and not really trying to get caught out of position. So I would take a look at a few defenseman props, but I wanted to look at Alex Tuch over 2.5 shots at a -110 price. Alex Tuch is somebody that I've praised for his ability to step up in big game moments, but also just in the playoffs. He's been kind of moved around a few different lines, but he gets lots of ice time. He's very trusted by his head coach. And I think that he brings that aspect of the game that Vegas is really going to need tonight, that grit, the crash the net mentality, the shoot from everywhere type of mindset. And I believe that will help us out with our shots on goal prop with Alex Tuch over 2.5. Getting into some of the point props here, I couldn't believe I cashed with Suzuki at like -111 as my best bet on the last show. He moves to -125 tonight. I'm going to go right back to him again, because as much as I've been talking about the depth of this team and how it's a little more difficult to find, a goal scorer or a guy getting a point, that Toffoli and Caulfield and Suzuki line is absolutely rolling right now. They're finding the way to get the puck in the back of the net, and their ice time has been up a lot. Usually Montreal is very equal with their ice time, but they're putting him out there in defensive situations as well. I've also noticed his face-off wins are getting up there a little bit. But talking about goal scoring props a little bit, just to kind of go through the list. Pacioretty at +155, Marchessault +200, Smith at +255, Toffoli +230, Suzuki +260. It's real interesting looking at these guys and going down the list. There's two that stuck out to me. The first one, Corey Perry +350 to score a goal. He scored a goal in a lot of the big games. I'm pretty sure he has a goal in both elimination games for the Canadiens. And another guy, Joel Armia, +380. Another big, solid guy, a big body in front of the net. Somebody that's going to score not the prettiest goal in the world, but a nice goal for his team. And the Vegas Golden Knight player I was looking at was William Karlsson, +280. I like to ride the hot hands, just like people are doing right now with Braden Point, Carm. But with this guy, I think if he has a huge game, it boosts his team quite a bit. And I feel like he could find the back of the net. Talking about first team to score the goal, there's a lot of props on that, Carm. And I've mentioned, just like you mentioned earlier in the show, about how games are different. No, the score, whatever the score reads might not dictate how the game went. I'm pretty sure that, Montreal is a whole different team when they have a lead, because they have, first of all, a world-class goaltender, great defense. But if they go down, the lead is way different. Would you ever look at a prop for either team to score the first goal?
I probably wouldn't, because there's just so much that comes into it. Although the Canadians have been doing a fantastic job of getting that first goal. Anytime with those, if you're seeing like -110 or -120 both ways, let's say, I just don't want to lay what essentially is -120. It's like saying to me, it's the Super Bowl, let's bet heads or tails, but you have to lay 120. I don't want to do it because it's
Right.
a random thing. If I thought one team had a decided advantage over another, it's a different story. If it's a series like, in the first round, where you saw teams were -220 in the games, and you're like, oh, they're going to win these games. You take them to score it, but you're not going to get that -120 price either. I'm sort of staying away from any of these scoring props in this game, just because I'm gravitating to the under as far as where my plays
Right.
are going to be in this. With that said, the one prop I do like, and I talked about this on Friday's show with Andy Lang, is the shot prop. So the shot prop that I'm looking at for this one is Alex Pietrangelo, because of the fact that, like you said, Vegas has got to get more pucks to the net, and he's been a big part of their shot totals. If you look at Pietrangelo's numbers in just the last
Yep.
4 games, four in this last 4-1 loss. In the two previous games, he did have three. In the game previous to that, he had seven. So he gets a lot of pucks to the net. Any power plays he's on there, he's getting pucks to the net. So the shot prop for Pietrangelo is 3.5 over +110 is the price. So while there probably are some 2.5s, you're gonna have to pay a ton of juice. I'm not doing that. I'll take over 3.5 plus 110 shot props for Pietrangelo.
Love that prop, Carmen. Anybody interested in looking at a full scale for a team prop for the Vegas Golden Knights, you can get their whole team over 31.5 shots at minus 125. Very interesting. The Canadiens are listed at just 26.5 shots, Carm. So it goes to show, even when they're leading in certain games, they're not really, keeping that volume of shots up. Once they get a comfortable lead, they're playing a lot more defensive and spending more time in the offensive zone. But I am in agreement with Carmine on the under, and the under first period is kind of more so where I'm looking. Look, guys, I will say this. As much as everybody loves calling me a homer, I think this is probably the Canadiens' game 7, because despite the fact that they've strung together a few solid games in a row, I don't think any of us would agree that they want to head back to Las Vegas. They've had success on the road throughout the season, throughout the playoffs as well, almost breaking a record already for away wins. I think we can all agree that the Canadiens do not want to go back to Las Vegas. This is kind of their game 7 here in front of their home ice, and they want to bring that exact same mentality, like Carmine was saying, taking care of the puck, getting great solid zone exits. And keep in mind, they're without their head coach. I mean, Dominic Ducharme, one of the biggest things that he mentioned when he took over as the head coach was puck support. The forwards not leaving the defensemen too much, Carm, kind of staying with them, offering that outlet pass for them, and it's really helped them out so far. But Carmine really liking that position on the under, and I would say this is kind of a bold statement, but I would say this: if you guys like the Montreal Canadiens in this game, you can actually take a look at the minus 1.5 for the Canadiens alternative line at plus 335. I think if the Montreal Canadiens win tonight, they will win by a margin, by more than 1 goal. That plus 335 is a pretty solid number and takes that plus 125 to a whole new ball game. Carm, let's go to you, man, for best bet and what's going on for you tonight.
All right, so not much in action today. I have a Copa America play that I gave out to my clients, so you're not going to find any plays for today up. But what you will find on my page is the knockout stages kick off for the Euro Championships. They kick off on Saturday, and I have a knockout stage package, which the regular price is $199. It's $139 with coupon code KO, as in knockout, KO 60, $60 off. I already have 2 5% plays loaded in the knockout stages. One goes on the weekend, one goes on Monday. So those plays normally go for $35 each. So getting the knockout stage package is a pretty damn good deal, I think. And then there's a couple more games already loaded. So I've got 4 plays up there. I'm looking forward to it, and it should be a fun tournament between now and the final on July 11th, which I will be watching at Circa in Las Vegas. I'm looking forward to that as well. Andrew, my show best bet, I did like but I think we're going to have the same one on this one. I did like the under 1.5 first period, but I also do like the Pietrangelo shot prop. So there's a couple that I like. I'm going to officially make the under 1.5 my show best bet. I don't think we see a lot of goals in this game, but keep in mind, I also like that Alex Pietrangelo over 3.5 shots plus 110 as well, too, guys. Andrew, listen, you're going to close out this show. All I can say, man, is going for 11 straight 5% winners in MLB, 10-0 on the season thus far. Dude, kill it.
I appreciate it, Carm. Means a lot. And let's do it. I'll send you that play right after the show. We can cash it together. And you've been working so hard. I hope you have a great afternoon. Get in some drinks and taking your day off, I guess. It shouldn't, not even a day off, though. You've already worked a half day, Carm. So, look, I'm going to go with the exact same wager as Carmine, guys. The under 1.5 in the first period. Like I mentioned, I do like that Alex Tuck shot prop over 2.5. But under 1.5 in the first period is the way I'm going to go. And like I said, I'm just a little bit worried about taking these full game unders in elimination games. But between these two teams, I probably wouldn't be too worried about it. But I'm going to narrow in on the first period under 1.5. And guys, that 5% play is up and loaded. but use that coupon code Andrew99 to get a week of all access for just $99. The best way to go. 5% plays listed as $35. You can get a week of all of my plays for just $99. All right, let's get out of here. Carmine has places to be and people to see after working hard all morning, and we have lots of action to get to for tonight. Guys, call me a homer all you want, but this is the first time I've said it. Go Habs, go. First period under for the Knights and the Canadiens, minus 140. Let's cash this ticket, guys. On behalf of Carmine, I am Andrew. Best of luck, and I'll see you tomorrow.